you're looking for improvement, but you're looking for sustainable improvement. And so if you push yourself too hard, you destroy the sustainability across time. And you want that sustainability there. So you can't push yourself any farther than you're capable of going in the long run. I found, for example, because I've written diligently for a long time, daily, and I learned quite early on that writing more than 3 hours in a day was counterproductive. Whatever I gained from a 4-hour writing session, I'd lose the next day or two. So, but I also think you have to kind of push yourself past your limits before you can retract to the optimal place. And that can't be sort of defined a priori because each person's limit is different. And I think what you do when you're young, in your 20s, if you're operating in an optimal manner, is you push yourself to your limits and then pull back and adjust for sustainability. And I help lots of people do that in my clinical practice. I work with lawyers who are at the pinnacle of their profession, and the demands on them are incredible. They're working 60 to 80 hours a week. Generally, what I did with them was get them to take more days off. They couldn't work shorter days, but they could plan 4-day weekends 2 months in advance. And they could do that every 2 months. And inevitably, if they did that, the number of billable hours they produced went up, not down. So they maybe doubled their vacation time and increased their productivity. So it was a really good deal for them. They got their cake and eat it too. They got to have their cake and eat it too. Look, every ideal is a judge, right? So you posit an ideal and instantly you're in inferior position in relationship to that ideal, and that can be crushing. Okay, so what do you do about that? Well, one answer is no ideals. Well, that's not a good answer because then you don't have anything to do, right? So, and that deprives you of a main source of pleasure, which is generated as a consequence of observed movement towards a valued goal. So if you have a high goal and you see any movement towards it, there's a really powerful potential kick there. So you don't want to dispense with that. But then if you set up an ideal, it can judge you very harshly. So then you have to rearrange your reward philosophy. And instead of punishing yourself as a consequence of perceived distance, you reward yourself for incremental movement forward. And that's not just theoretical. Look, I was stopped by 3 guys on the street this week, 3 separate occasions, and they all told me the same thing. They said that they had read or something I wrote or listened to something or watched something and that it had been helpful. And whenever anybody says that to me, I always ask them, okay, exactly what was helpful and what changed, because I want to know what's helping so that I can understand the target and hit it better. And generally people are pleased to tell me, although sometimes it takes them a while to formulate exactly the description. But all 3 of them said, I stopped comparing myself to other people. So I stopped comparing what I didn't have to what other people had. I left that off the table. And then I started to reward myself for improving over what I was yesterday. And that's profound change because it means that you actually get your reward structure transformed. And that's a big deal because that's your source of positive emotion and enthusiasm, encouragement, all of that. So now you can start to encourage yourself for genuine improvement. And it's also pragmatically extremely intelligent because incremental improvement repeated is virtually unstoppable.